I'm just going to fuck it up.
Lazy.
I ain't lazy. We're just late.
You lazy is what it is.
We just started talking, and we didn't have half the night before we even started.
So we have some guest, some dude named Steph.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I appreciate you joining us tonight. By the way,
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, sir. We do greatly appreciate it.
To school me on hockey.
Well, I'm sure I could learn a thing or two about a thing.
School probably both of them, but
Well, you give the whole spiel of our tagline while we're doing it.
I don't have to. It's in the description, dude. I'm not doing that.
Do it.
I'm not doing it.
So yeah, I am much more perky. I don't know why. Give it like a half hour.
There, right there. There you go. You happy?
Yes, I am. Leave that right there. Leave it right there.
But I like this better.
No, I like the other one. So yes, I did test positive for the COVID today. It means that explains to me completely why I've been exhausted over the past week. So no show for me, Steph.
Yeah, I was about to say. So I'm going to assume that means you're probably not going to be there Saturday.
Yeah, I'm not going to be there Saturday for the show. I'm
not going to get the Freemans that Rich had for me.
You might not have gotten them anyway.
At this point, I'm more interested in the 72 high numbers.
Well, I could buy 50 of them and sell you 40 of them at a premium.
I mean, you buy 50 of them, you're probably paying a premium as is.
That's true. That's true.
Well, if you buy 50 and sell me 40, that means I'll only be 12 short.
Well, good.
Depending on which 50.
Well, I'm assuming he would buy the 50 I needed. And I wouldn't buy 40.
Oh, I like this 2-on-1. I like this. It's a 2-on-1 scoring chance. It's awesome.
All right.
Yeah, I got the COVID. I got my rapid test today, and I didn't even realize I got it because Rich told me to go get it. So shut up.
You got it. You got the COVID because Rich told you to go get it.
Yeah. Well, no, I got it. I know where I got it from. I can't say where I got it from, but I know where the source was because I called today and figured it out. But yeah, so
you got it from work.
No. Work is. I don't think you know. I went independent. I'm like working for myself, selling cards now. So I got laid off right before Christmas on the 18th, and I decided I'm now going to buy, sell all sports cards. So not from work, because work is sitting here on the computer entering cards and aggravating people online all day long. So that's why I've been a little bit more active on Twitter.
Half of that he's good at.
I'm not good at no Twitter tweeting nothing. So I'm still getting used to the fact that I get to sit home all day long and
you're pretty good at aggravating.
What?
I did say half.
What did I miss? I just walked. Nothing. We're aggravating one another. What's up, Dan?
It's got Bo, Zach, Matt.
Howdy, all.
No way, Matt. I didn't know Matt tested positive 8 days after he was back in Dallas back in November. You didn't say nothing.
He said he blames Texas. I would too.
I mean, you go to a huge convention with 1,000 or so people. I mean, not the wisest idea. But definitely I'd blame Dallas too.
About 3 weeks ago, I had to get tested, but luckily it came back negative. So I'm really surprised that I hadn't ended up with something with the environment we work in every day. When we're in and out of everybody's house all day, every day. And so, we're here to talk hockey.
Are we? I thought we were here to aggravate you all night.
Well, that's fine too. I can roll with that.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's talk Stars being undefeated. Woo!
What, one game
Yeah.
in?
But at the same time, aren't they like 17 of the 27 positive tests in the league of everyone, officials, administration staff?
Yeah, I don't understand how they got completely. I don't know how they got completely COVIDized, but we are pretty loose down here in Texas with our.
Like Matt said, they're in Texas.
So it's
You played 2 games.
I know 2 games, 2-0.
They did pretty good the other night, though.
Well, when you light the lamp 7 times, and then I'm surprised. I watched halfway last night, and I got exhausted. I watched the replay. I got so exhausted, I passed out. So I missed the back half of the game. But they look quick. They look quicker than they have in years. So I'm pretty impressed. Miro was running around being himself, which as long as he's himself, and they're doing this without Ben and without Tyler. What does that tell you now? So
it means that you played 2 games and you played Nashville.
Wow.
Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville. They were pretty flat-footed. I was surprised. They're usually a little more.
So, all right, I know they rearranged the divisions because of the COVID.
They did.
How is it normally 4 divisions? Is that right?
Yep. Same as baseball. Baseball used to be, rather.
Yeah.
2 leagues, 2 conferences, as they prefer to call it, with 2 divisions each.
Okay. So, I mean, what did they do? They switched it around as far as geographical.
Yeah, they tried to make it, more travel friendly. So all of Canada is in one division. So if a team goes to play Edmonton, they're probably playing Ottawa next. They're probably playing Toronto. They're probably playing Calgary for the quote unquote Canada trip, and then going through the rest of the other divisions.
All right. What? Let's see. Let me get my list out right here.
Your list of questions?
Yeah, I mean, I've got some stuff I've been writing down while I was watching. I mean, if something
Let's do 50 questions.
No, it's not 50. It's really not that long because some of it I figured out after I wrote it down. But
sure.
The one thing I have been confused on is when you look at stats, it shows goals, like goals for, goals against. I get that. But where do they calculate? How do they calculate points?
Points is just goals and assists added. So someone has 20 goals and 30 assists, they have 50 points.
But
unless you're talking about in the standings.
He's talking about standings.
Yeah, in the standings.
Okay, I thought you were talking individual player. So you get 2 points for each win, regardless of whether it's overtime or regular. And then you get 1 point for an overtime loss. So, for example, I'm looking at the North Division right now, and the Ottawa Senators have won 1 game, lost 3, and have 1 overtime loss. So they got 2 points for their 1 win and 1 point for their overtime loss, which means they have 3 points.
It gives them a solid for going into overtime.
Right.
So they get 2 points for a win. And 1 point for an overtime loss.
Yes.
Right.
No points for any, just a regular in regulation loss.
Okay.
So, for example, Columbus, they have 2 wins, 2 losses, and 2 overtime losses. They have 6 points.
Okay, so I guess that answers one question too. Is the how they come up with a team being like 3-2-2 or something like that. And there's no tie. It's
Mhm.
that's an overtime win. Okay.
Right. Yeah. They tried to do away with ties a few seasons back, where they so now once your third period's over, if it's still tied, or if it quickly gets tied before the end of the third period, as has been the case for a few of the Wild games this year. They play one overtime period, and then if it's still tied after that, I think it's 5 minutes. 5 minutes?
5.
That goes to shootout. And I mean, eventually somebody is going to win if it gets that far.
Yeah.
And with the shootout, I think I've gathered this much. It's basically one team goes for the goalie, then the other team goes, and the other team until somebody makes it.
So it starts off with a best of 3. So if your team scores 3 goals and the other scores 2, you won the game. If it stays, 1-1, 1-1, 1-1, 1-1, it's till whatever. After the third round, it's whoever scores and stops the next. So if Minnesota and Dallas are tied, overtime's over, goes to the shootout. We score, they score, we score, they score, we score, they score. So we'd be into the fourth round, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we score, and our goalie stops Dallas, game's over. Minnesota won.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it can go on. I mean, I've seen like a 10-rounder just shot, block, shot, block, shot, block, shot, block, shot, block, shot, block, goal, shot, block, goal game.
Like I've seen 4 at this point. I can't remember if it was 3 or 4.
I mean, it's kind of a hockey purists aren't the hugest fans of it, but it is really exciting watching. Literally on the edge of the seats, watching back and forth.
I like it.
It ends the whole tie thing. It just because they used to give points for ties. And you're like, really, a point? It didn't make any sense. So, I mean, it's not the best system in the world, but it's a good compromise, and it's better than a tie.
Right.
Well, and it gets you out of the door instead of having 5 overtimes. You just have like 3 fans left in the stands. Now, for the most part, you can assume that within, however long, the game's going to be over.
Yeah, I mean, it prevents. Well, I guess I don't know. In the finals, would they continue to play overtimes? Yeah.
For playoffs, they do full-on periods and no shootouts.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. So
playoffs. So playoffs with no shootouts, they basically just have another period and go another 15 minutes. Or
yep,
they shorten it to 10. In it 10.
I don't think so. I thought it was full-on 20-minute playoff. Let me check.
Okay.
I mean, mind you, I think they're still writing the rules for this year, but in most years.
There's just been so much change lately. It's been with bubble, without bubble, that type of thing.
So yeah, it's regular time, regular 5 skaters, full strength, no shootout. The only difference is it's sudden death. Whoever scores wins.
So yeah, what's really cool is they'll normally swallow the whistles during that time, and you'll get a lot more physicality in those overtimes, even though they're exhausted. They'll get a little bit more rougher in those overtimes than they will in the regular periods, just because they know that they're less likely to blow a whistle and force a penalty to
that ends the game.
Yeah,
or series in some cases.
So real quick, while he's in here, Cardman Dan, I was asked to tell you. He said, "What's up?" and Roll Tide. Now, I've fulfilled the obligation, and that I've done it. So now we can get back to talking hockey.
Okay.
And I don't know if it was directed at you or he just wanted to hear me as a Georgia fan say "Roll Tide." So
He just wanted to hear you say "Roll Tide" is what it was.
Yeah, I was going to tag in there 1, howdy, but 2, War Eagle. Look, Mom graduated from there. I got to pull for Auburn a little bit.
That's okay. So it was directed at Steph then.
Then maybe.
Maybe, you never know, or it's just to make you, squirm as usual.
Beef with Auburn than they do Georgia. So, but either way, I fulfill my obligation.
Okay.
But back to hockey. So, all right, we was talking about the points. So, what's the final standing?
There it is. See, it's not me. It is you.
Really? Okay. Maybe it was me stuttering. I don't know.
No, it's it's either your connection or your connection to the website. It's a common problem.
Well, anyway, so when it comes to the final standings, they base that on points and not games won and game lost.
Yep. So similar to baseball, where they base it off the winning percentage. It's based off points. So, for example, it's like for the two teams that are shooting for the last playoff spot, if they end up with the same amount of points, I think they go based on head-to-head, and then versus the division, and then some other stuff. But essentially, yes, points based.
Okay. So, all right, that answers that question. What is icing?
Okay. So I did send you
a really good question.
I did send you the clip for Slapshot, but essentially icing is where, say, for example, your team is in their end of the rink. Doesn't count during a penalty because they get some defensive bonuses for that, but essentially you're on their end of the puck, the ice with the puck, and they intercept it and shoot it all the way down the other end to try to slow down the game or delay it or what have you.
Give them a rest.
Get a change.
Get a change in. Yeah, it's to prevent it's like a delay game. It's like a delay game, and there's real. Holy cow! Somebody call Ripley. We have a John Newman sighting.
Yes, John. I'm learning hockey, so anything you could throw in here would be appreciated.
Now, to that though, so if you're the team that shoots it down the other end, between the two red lines and the neutral zone, and you get to the puck first, it's not icing.
Right.
It's only icing when you chip it down the other end of the rink and they beat you to the puck.
And it's completely subjective.
Completely
subjective.
For the most part, they'll let it play at both. If you, for example, they're fighting down that way and they chip it towards the other end of the thing, and it's slowly rolling and it doesn't actually pass the line where the goalie is. If it comes to a stop before then, or if there are two players that are kind of close to it and kind of skating towards it, as it passes them and starts to go towards where they would call icing, they'll let it go. But I mean, if everybody's on one end of the rink except for the other team's goalie and it just gets chipped the other way,
that's icing. Yeah.
It's going to get called every time.
Well, I thought I've seen them do that.
If it's during a penalty, that doesn't count.
Yeah, during a penalty, you can do icing. Because it's 5-on-4 or 5-on-3, or because there's a
4-on-3
shift.
Says icing's legal if you're shorthanded. So if you've got a player sitting in the penalty box,
you're encouraged to do that.
Yes, please.
It has a player in the penalty box can do it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Hey, I'm learning.
Mm-hmm.
That's my biggest one's hand pass. That's probably the one that I that's the hand pass.
You would think it would be being in the crease.
Yeah.
With goals, but That's a bit of a Dallas and Buffalo issue. I don't know if you watched the game at the time.
Okay.
Oh no, I was up at UNT for the entire series, the entire time. It was a goal. That's all I'm saying. It was a goal. It was a goal.
One assumption I always had with hockey was kind of that it was similar to soccer, as in the puck stays on the ice, and the only thing that touches the puck is the stick, the hockey stick. Now, since I've been watching, I've noticed a lot of them will knock them like in the air, and guys reach and grab them with their hand and put them down.
So yeah, unlike soccer, you can catch the puck either with your hand or you pop it off your shoulder. And it's not a hand pass if you're the first person to touch it afterwards. So if you hop up, grab it, toss it down, and pass it to a teammate, perfectly legal. If you toss up, grab it, and chuck it at the goalie, they're going to call a hand pass. Play stops, and they'll.
Well, I don't think I've seen hand pass called, so.
No, it's not all that common. I bet you'll still occasionally see it. They're just four guys standing around.
Kind of reach up and stop it and let it drop straight down.
You can even catch it and just drop it real quick, and that it's fine. As long as you're the first person to play it. Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. That's. I mean, you hear the people say, "Well, football is the most aggressive sport." I'm like, yeah, okay, it is. Sure, but when you have two 210-pound dudes slamming against each other on the boards, and they can't stop because there's still ice on, because you're playing on ice, a little bit different than football, where you get hit and just kind of stop into the turf.
Yeah.
I tell you something else I've noticed different about football too. I've never seen a football referee sit there and let two football players in.
Well, that's the best bit. I mean, in hockey, you have a disagreement or whatever. You just get to beat the shit out of a dude and go sit for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Anywhere else, that's battery and assault.
I mean, they're starting to make football players look like a bunch of wusses.
Yeah.
What's up, kid?
Howdy.
Howdy, Ken.
We're just sitting here talking about how hockey is awesome. How hockey's awesome.
He's not wrong.
I don't think so.
But
now, you and Ken would have a disagreement because while he does like the Stars, more so his wife, he's a bit of a Blackhawks fan.
Oh, see, that just ruined my complete, an utter devotion to him.
Mm-hmm.
He
also said that no matter what choice I made a poor choice.
I mean, he's not wrong. Can't be as bad as Shep picking the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh,
unless you also chose the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh, okay.
You could have picked the Winnipeg Jets. I mean, come on.
But they did used to be in Atlanta.
What?
Yeah, they used to be the Atlanta Thrashers.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
And Calgary Flames.
I've been to Saddle Dome. Saddle Dome is a really intimate, cool venue. So I can't, and it's a sister city to Dallas, so we really can't. Well, we can pick on the Flames. We can't really,
Atlanta just can't hold a hockey team. They've had 3 chances, and
yeah. So
there's a whole bunch of those. I mean, Cleveland had a team in the 70s. You'd think Cleveland would be semi-decent at holding a team or just a hockey team for that matter. But no, they got murdered.
That's because who wants to live in? No, I'll be quiet.
Well, you're not wrong. First of all, there's a video I'll send you from the quote unquote Cleveland tourism department on how at least they're not Detroit, but
wow.
No, their owner had did something that did another thing that eventually they were bought out and merged into the Minnesota North Stars, and then, well, we know what happened there.
That's right. They became
Bullshit.
Dallas Stars.
Bullshit.
Dallas.
You know the team acquisition was horseshit when even the league talks to the previous city and is like, yeah, we kind of fucked you. Sorry. Next time we go to expansion, you're getting a team.
He's not wrong. He is not wrong. Not at all.
Stars left in 93, and by 97, we were promised a new organization. So,
Yep. Let's see.
I missed that. The star. Where did the Stars come from?
Minnesota.
Oh.
And North Stars.
Yeah, Minnesota North Stars.
Long story short, the owner,
All-Star State.
indeed. Essentially, whether you choose to believe it or not, the owner was getting divorced, sleeping with secretaries or whatnots, and he didn't want his wife to get the assets, team control or whatever percentage money, essentially. And he decided to sell the team. So he puts it up for auction, and the team that eventually won the bids was a team from Dallas. Well, why is a bunch of investment group from Dallas going to pay to have their team in another state when they can move them to Dallas? They're not. So they moved them down.
Yep.
And then, like I said, even then, the league contacted the Minnesota representatives, and they're like, "Yeah, it's kind of shady how that all went down. Next expansion, you guys are getting a team."
Yeah.
Oh,
Minnesota.
The Wild.
That's right. The Wild.
Horseshit name.
The Wild. Ooh.
Horseshit name, but I also like to rub it in the fact that you guys can't even draft a winning team. You guys got to steal one.
Why you gotta be like that? Dang.
Can't win a cup on your own. Got to steal one.
It's true, but you know what?
Got to steal a state. Just saying.
We at least have one. So
we got a new guy here, Matt. Is it Max? Welcome.
Welcome, Max.
Howdy.
You just said howdy.
Howdy.
I'm so impressed. Thank you.
I mean,
all right. So, this one I think I figured out.
robot.
Yeah. Whatever.
Where's your hand?
Huh?
Where's your hand model?
Smoke signals.
Offsides, I think I figured out. I know that it's got something to do with the puck crossing or being shot at the goal before the player crosses the blue line.
So that's a common one. Much like soccer, it all depends on where the puck is, depending on what penalties are going on. In this case, offsides. So say, because there's a center area and then there's two the individual team areas. Offsides is where you bring the puck into their end of the zone, and the puck crosses back across the line, and you try to play it back to a teammate that's still there. That's offsides. So essentially, if we're in your end of the zone and the puck comes back across the line, everybody has to peel back and then re-enter.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
and even then, more so. So if you and a teammate are rushing up the ice and you have the puck and he beats you across the line, that's offside.
Yeah.
The second you cross it.
Look at John. John says the same thing. Person with the puck has to be the first across the line.
Mm-hmm.
all
And
right.
even if you
Is that why that a lot of times you see they'll knock the puck back and they'll kind of gather at the goal. Okay.
Yeah, That's why it's just regrouping.
Yep.
It's just regrouping. Offsides, man, offsides can get really ticky sometimes if they're at the blue line.
They changed it recently.
Taken away because of replays on offsides or
right. That's what I was going to say. They recently changed the rules for replays and offsides calls. Because it used to be that if you were skating across but your foot was still down, even if you're dragging it, and your teammate gets across the line, that's fine. Now you can even have it hovering just as long as you're not fully across.
Yeah.
With both skates. They made it a whole lot less. Is it not? Is it not? And then more so if you call for a review, say they score and it was close, iffy, they can review it to see, hey, was he offsides? But if there's a penalty for doing it just because. If it's ruled such that they were onsides, you get a 2-minute penalty, delay a game or some.
Stealing around the blue zone becomes really interesting if you've got two fast teams. It gets really interesting, especially when you got a lot of people in between the blue lines, and then you got two teams that are really quick. The refs will slow it down just so they can keep their eyes going. So it's fun and not fun. I don't like it. I like more open ice than I do.
See, he'd more enjoy the Olympic gameplay.
Yeah, I do. Actually, I do. There's with the difference between Olympic is that it's wider. Distance is just wider, and then there's less fighting, but it's a lot more smoother. College hockey, it's in the same rink as college hockey. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I don't think so. I think it's slightly different.
But college hockey, there's a lot less fighting and it's a lot more flow than the NHL, especially in the same thing in the minor leagues. The only time they really get into it is scrapping is into the NHL.
Unless there's a major issue. I mean, a guy gets leveled and slammed, and you take out the goalie and throw him halfway across the ice. Yeah, there might be a fight, but it's not nearly as chippy as, hey, I dislike you, or hey, you hit me a little too hard.
Yeah, I like passing in lanes, and I don't know, and that's just me. When Dallas had their huge dump and chase years, I hate dump and chase. I hate dump and chase. I mean, it just disrupts the flow of the game.
Okay, what is dump and chase?
Okay, so
that's what it sounds like. You're coming up the ice, and instead of passing it back and forth between you and a teammate and trying to shoot, you chip it in and then have people run in and go grab it, and then set up a play that way.
Yeah, you fight the boards to get the puck out of the corners is what you do. It's a style. Dallas used to use it for 5 to 7 years, and it was the same thing because you get to the blue line and they just flip it over all the players into the corner, and then their whole method would be fight to get it off the corners, and typically that's a little tougher to do. It requires a little less finesse. You don't have to be as skilled. It's not the way that I like skill. See,
he didn't catch that, but I think he just insulted his own team by saying that they went with this for 5 to 7 years, and you don't have to be as skilled.
I didn't like that style. I did not like that style, and I think that hurt their development. Was doing dump and chase. So I don't like it. I loved it. I love the smooth.
You're saying that, I've noticed that there's a lot of teams doing that now.
Yeah. I mean, depending on the score of the game or just the game situation, it's not a horrible way to set up for a play, depending on what's going on. However, there's something to having perfectly executed passes back and forth and setting up for a one-timer. It's also easier.
Yeah.
If you have talented players.
I just like Dallas's style now. It's more fluid. That's all. All right, tell us what team you picked and quit holding us in suspense, you slacker.
I got some more questions here. Hold on. I got 2 more, and I'll be done. All right. When they talk about changing the line, what is that?
So, unlike a baseball lineup where you have 9 guys, hockey, so you have the defensive pairing and your scoring threats. What they're saying by changing the lines is because skating and getting hit and dumping and chasing takes a lot out of your energy. That just means that they're swapping out players. So you see them hop over the board, swap out with who was on the ice, and the new line mates will go out to try to score.
Okay.
Usually a team will have 4 lines of 3 players and 4 or 6 defensive pairings. 2 guys each.
It says it looked like I was wearing a Flyers.
Colors are right.
So I had to, the colors, but I had to show him that it's my local high school team. So.
Can he make a shameless plug?
He's all about shameless plugs, Steph. He is
I don't care. All right. So the last thing, I got you. The last one I had, and I've tried to watch and figure out why they do this, but I can't. They're in a face-off. You got one of each opponent standing in the lane or whatever, getting ready to drop the puck, and then all of a sudden the referee stands up and they swap players.
So it's essentially kind of a cat and mouse game where, depending on where it is, one team is supposed to have the priority over putting his stick down first. The idea being that he gets his stick down, the guy's about to drop it, the other guy puts his stick down, and you get a slight edge on getting the puck. Whether it works or not is another story. But you see that where like a guy jumps in too soon, he'll boot him out. Or if he notices that his teammates are creeping in way more than they should instead of being right on the circle, he'll pop up and say, hey, back up, stay where you're supposed to be, stop fighting, and then drop it.
It's subjective.
And I mean, it's kind of a cat and mouse because you'll see guys will actually time a referee's average drop speed of, okay, now he's ready to go. And you'll see referees intentionally try to overdo that by waiting even longer.
So it's kind of like a jump start. I mean,
kind of a false start, actually.
A false start. So it's the referees that pull them out.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know. I didn't know if they because they wanted to, or because
it's like anything. It's subjective. They can let certain things go. Personally, I think the referees can just drop the damn puck faster.
Exactly.
But, the other thing that I was going to add to that, his boy Mike Madano, although I should say mine since he's in our front office. Exactly. Said that everyone was asking why did you have so much better face-off droppings against certain referees, and he would say that he noted that one referee in particular, when he went to go drop the puck, he would lift his finger slightly and then drop it. So he knew every single time when he was going to actually drop the puck and when he was just for play faking like he was going to drop it.
Everybody tell.
So much like baseball, when you try to see how a pitcher tips his pitches, it goes on with referees in hockey too.
I gotcha.
Or against your opponent, if you see that every third time when he looks over to his teammate, he chips it to the other guy instead. Well, now you know which way they're going to go for on the face-off. You can try to pass it to your teammate because sticks are curved, so you got kind of a slight advantage if you know which way to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I learned a lot.
Sure.
I appreciate it, and I'm sure there'll probably be more that comes up. But I've enjoyed it. I mean, I really have. A lot of
You
people
learn
say,
by watching. You
huh?
learn by watching.
Watching and playing.
I mean,
like I said, I don't know. You got kids or your own system. I've learned a lot by playing throughout the years. I've learned a lot through watching, both college, international, NHL naturally. But there's nothing like it.
yeah. Like I said, my list, when we first talked about this, my list was a lot longer, but I've watched and I picked up on a lot of stuff, you know, and I knew I would. It's like when my kids started wrestling in high school, I knew nothing about like collegiate and high school wrestling, you know, when I first started. But by the time my oldest son was about to leave middle school, going to high school, I was on the mat helping the coach.
Mm-hmm.
So
If it does, Matt, I'm driving to Georgia and I'm beating him.
And the one that I was going to ask you, that I was surprised that you didn't ask, was the stoppage times. Because for the most part, once the puck's dropped, unless there's a whistle or whatnot, it can go on for the entire period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with
Likely,
13
I don't know if that's ever happened, but
they went 13 minutes the first game, if I remember right. Dallas
I
did.
think the commercial breaks are set at the 10s.
Yeah, it was very unusually long. There wasn't. I don't think there was a whistle in the first. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting confused with the COVID, but
okay. So, Steph, I appreciate it. Like I said, I've picked up a lot, and I've kind of put it out there, and I've had several people that's messaged me off and on for the last probably 3 or 4 days, want to know what team that I picked as far as hockey goes.
So I looked it up because I was curious. A March 11th, 2014 game between the Washington Capitals and the Pittsburgh Penguins went from 19 minutes and 21 seconds into the game, 39 seconds, to 5:36, 14:24, essentially 15 minutes elapsed without a whistle.
That's a long time, especially
Really 15 minutes
and everything.
So, I've picked a team. I mean, why not? Everybody's asked. I mean, even Steph tried to get it out of me early yesterday. I've got my binder ready.
My God.
I've got an addendum.
Lord help us.
The Jets and Hurricanes played an entire third period without a TV timeout once.
Oh, really? That's kind of cool.
2018.
Look, I'm gonna throw it out there. Does anybody have a guess? I've heard Blackhawks. I've heard.
Has anybody guessed correctly?
I know I have. He just won't let me know.
Nobody's guessed correctly.
Look what I found, Steph.
Burn it.
Nobody's put out a correct guess. Put it that way. I'm not going to have mentioned it.
Moronic, like the Kings or something like that.
My bet's Carolina. It's close-ish, young team.
That's a
John Henry.
They are close to me. They're fairly close.
Panthers.
Why?
Because why not? Throwing everything out there. The Shark Tank is a cool place to be. I've actually gone to the Shark Tank. I've been to Shark Tank and the Mighty Ducks. Yeah, he is kind of quackers. And I've actually seen a game at Madison Square Garden. That's fun if you hadn't had a chance, Steph.
John recommended the Raiders. I watched them. I didn't recommend the Hurricanes. I watched them. Not that I have anything against any of them.
He's stalling. Oh, you freaking
cheat.
Man, I gotta go with Greedy. John. And John's gonna hate. He's gonna hate me. But I'm rolling. I'm rolling with Joel Farabee.
I had a feeling you'd say that.
Boo.
I mean, you did tell me you bought a bunch of them, so
I did. I've bought up a bunch of them on ComC.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still buying them. What's the matter?
You're nowhere near Philly and you choose a Yankee team. Give me your freaking man card now.
I mean, I went with the Flyers. I watched. I tell you what, honestly, the Flyers was the first game I watched.
But now the problem is,
okay, here we go.
You only have your Eastern Division team. Now you need to find a Western Division team.
You can't do that.
Dude, I followed like 5 teams, all right?
Well,
most of the teams that I like are in the same division, so I can't really say anything. I like the Sharks. I like that's about it. I like Stars and Sharks.
I know they're not. I know they're West. I know they're not in Western Division, but I'm also going to follow the Hurricanes just because they are close.
Sure.
And if they do open things back up, I wouldn't mind trying to get out and watch one. You know, I'm a little closer than Alabama, like some people thought.
They're fun. Going to a hockey game's fun. I used to have season tickets, so I had
a second 67 expansion team.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know what it was I liked about them. I mean, I like their colors.
Apparently.
Yeah. That's really why he picked that team.
See, now if you were going to go that route, you could just choose the Ducks and be done with it. Because they also have orange, black, and white as their primaries. At least did.
Yeah.
Now Brad's mad at me.
I am mad.
Changed.
I never had a man card.
It's because your wife got it to you from high school.
I don't even know why. I mean, I can't even tell you why because, like I said, I don't know. I have no history with hockey. I've been watching hockey for 9 days. I've tried to watch a little bit of all the teams, which I have, until I found out that I don't have a subscription to Center Ice. So now I don't know what I'm going to do because I was watching all this hockey, and now I just have to catch what I can on NBC or wherever it comes on. But I don't know. I went with Tim said he went with the Oilers because he liked the jerseys, right?
Yeah. The Oilers, yeah.
Okay. I like the Flyers because I like the mascot. There we go.
I'm sorry.
Not really.
Your retort for that should have been, Brad, you may have the man card, but can you actually ride roller coasters?
That's like the pot calling the kettle black there, dude. So don't even.
I'm 5'11".
You are not. We are like right at. Don't even.
Wait a minute. What am I missing? Hold on. Back up.
He's about here on me.
Oh, okay.
A high joke must be this tall to ride the roller coaster.
A short joke. Okay, yeah.
The Nolan Ryan picture. Don't even.
Don't let me pull them up.
That's all right. All right. Matt's seen how tall I am. Better be careful. Your wife's in the same place.
Oh,
Yeah, but see, she's a girl. She doesn't have a man card.
Yeah, I got my man card. And how big a boy are you to take
And
it?
no, she's 5'1". So like an inch or two taller than you.
This is why he wanted to join the show. This is exactly why he wanted to join the show. But
look,
that's all right. If I dish it out, I can take it. So
ooh, I don't care why he wanted to join. I learned something tonight. Okay.
oh man.
See, it looks like exactly. It looks like he's sitting, but he's actually standing.
Wow.
Oh.
No, I'm trying to like get the whole jerseys in, and it doesn't work. So I gave up trying.
That's fair.
And I usually wear some Texas shirt, but I got London on today for some reason. I got up and was lazy and just didn't pay attention to what I was wearing. I usually wear some sort of Texas whenever I jump online.
I think the huge sign behind you, the table runner, the everything else. I think we got it.
Am I branded enough?
Much like the motorist jersey on the wall.
Yes.
Can I do this? Because, he did share a picture of me with a birthday hat on.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. Look who's in that picture, dude. That is a pure Dean Cain picture. Yes. That is a Dean Cain. And then the guy behind me is a elementary school friend of mine. And then that squid next to me. That is a picture of my daughter and I.
So for what it's worth, no, go back to that picture. Humor me.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Here we go.
So for what it's worth, Dean Cain is kind of slouching there for one, but two, he's 6 foot.
That's one of that picture. Actually, no, I put it up.
Is he even 6 foot?
According to Google.
Oh, he's done Googled it already.
Like I just know what height Dean Cain is.
That's my Superman right there, Dean Cain.
So
You're allowed to be
slouching.
We did. Me and my daughter met him and got autographs and all sorts of cool stuff. That was a really cool day.
Which is awesome, by the way. I would have loved to. I'd love to have an autograph from Dean Cain.
Yeah, he and my daughter got along really well. It was really cool. So, no, I love it. What,
Matt? I think you need to ask Brad about that.
I don't know nothing about that, and that will not be done on this show. Oh.
So, what do you think? Flyers? Yes, no.
No.
decent team. A bit dirty in the 70s. I'm also surprised you didn't get into the trophies.
Yeah.
Not so much, how many the Flyers have won, but more so what each of the individual trophies are and what they're for.
I just remember when they're announced, and I don't have them memorized. I just remember when they're announced.
Trophies as in like the Stanley Cup, or
as well. So the Stanley Cup's the obvious one, right? Because it's the major one that everyone wants. But there's also other trophies for just and practically everything. So you got the President's Trophy for the team with the most points at the end of the season. You've got the Vezina Trophy for the best goalie in the league. You've got the Calder for the best rookie. Conn Smythe for the MVP of the playoffs. The Hart Memorial for essentially the MVP trophy.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Masterson, who is essentially the comeback player of the year. ex-North Star was actually killed on the ice, and they chose to honor him by giving away an award in his name. You got the Selke for the best forward, the Art Ross, the person with the most points at the end of the season, goals, assists, etc. Jack Adams for the best coach, Rocket Richard for the top goal scorer, not necessarily just point total, just the goals. Then there's several others that, escape me at the moment.
Yeah, that's the coolest part about hockey is that they can instead of just doing the awards like the NFL or MLB, they actually named their trophies, which is really cool.
And the Lady Bing, for the essentially the most, I don't want to say friendliest, but the best sportsmanship, gentlemanly, award.
Well, I've like a week and a half in. I didn't think about this is the end of the season awards you're talking. Season awards you're talking about. So
right. Well, it's kind of like if you watch Big Ten football, the majority of the teams have mini trophies between them, or at least Minnesota does, because you got like a trophy that's fought between Wisconsin and Minnesota. You got a trophy between Iowa, a trophy between Illinois, Northwestern, Ohio, Michigan.
Like the Governor's Cup and the Egg Bowl.
Yeah, this is essentially right.
Okay.
The Floyd of Rosedale.
I haven't even thought about that. I just concentrated more on
gameplay.
The game.
Sure.
Yeah. Because I'll be honest with you, I love football, and I don't know all the NCAA awards that's given out every year.
Sure.
I don't go that far into it, but I love football, so I guess I can love hockey and not know all the trophies.
Well, you definitely can. It's just the amount of trophies to give out. It's kind of amusing. You can go to a team's arena and see they'll have like one standing show trophy, wherein they'll show you, well, hey, this guy won this on that year. We won this in that year. We got that in these 3 years. We won the Stanley Cup in such and such year. And really, if you want some interesting reads, do a search a time or two, or I'll send you a link of everything that's been done to the Stanley Cup.
Oh, yeah.
the official Stanley Cup, like when it was lost in a snowbank for a while.
Yeah.
The 3 official versions of the Stanley Cup. It's not just one.
Yeah. Right. There's all sorts of those are the cool stories, and then there's the stories that are written, and then there's the stories of lore.
Like getting dumped into a pool at a Pantera concert.
Yes.
A little bit close to home.
I could have looked more into it once I started watching, and I did for a little bit, and then the idea of this came up. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to quit looking. I'm going to quit digging. I'm going to just go off the cuff and learn on the fly.
For sure. That's the best way to do it, though.
And the rules are the really cool. The rules are always changing, and there's a lot more chess match going on in a hockey game than you think that are going on, and intricacies between the line shifts and intricacies between the puck play, and it's a lot more intricate sport than just brutalizing each other, throwing it in. It's actually a really cool game if you can just let yourself kind of sink into it and watch the flow. You'll learn a lot just doing that. So similar to football, where if you just sit back and then watch certain aspects, you can even watch like defense play. You can watch. There's a whole lot into a hockey game than just sitting and watching the puck. And
don't, despite what Brad says, don't look up the Malarchuk or Zednik incidences.
Oh, wait a minute. I'll go back and watch that.
Clint Malarchuk and Richard Zednik.
I don't know nothing about that. All I know is that it has made its way around Dallas. Let's put it that way. So,
well, neither of them were Dallas, but they were both incidences where, due to a play or someone getting upended, someone's neck got slit and just bled out all over the ice.
Yeah.
Like I said, don't look them up. It's pretty gruesome. One of them was goalie. One of them was a forward defense, regular skater.
Oh, I got one for you. Explain to him goalie interference.
Well, that's where the referee decides to call or not call you running into the goalie that would cause him not to be able to make a goalie play.
And
As in, you have two guys running the goalie. One actually hits him, leaving 3/4 of the net wide open, and your teammate hits it in. What are they going to call that?
Well, then the goalie could be out anywhere on the ice chasing a puck where he shouldn't be.
They'll usually only call that when he's actually in the blue paint.
I've seen it be called outside paint. I
didn't say they wouldn't. Close to, near the blue paint, behind the goal, but one of his feet is still touching, kind of.
I've seen somebody breathe on it.
But also they'll call it when they're behind the goal because if the goalie's back there trying to make a quick pass up and you bump into him and knock him over, they'll call that, sure.
I actually saw that call against the Penguins.
Yeah.
Because when they're back there, the skaters are supposed to make their best effort not to hit their goalie.
Yeah.
Which comes in where the goalie knows that and intentionally plays up a slight bump like you got shot or something.
Yeah. There are flops in Chicago.
It's not nearly as bad as football, but
there's there for a while the Blackhawks were masters at it. So,
of course, I've also saw a guy get his butt whooped for knocking the goalie into the net when he got knocked into the goalie. So,
oh yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm liking it. I'm digging it.
Much like MLB umpires, there's kind of a huge wide range of what they'll call, when they'll call, as far as penalties. So the players sometimes take it into their own hands. Mm-hmm. Like if you know that your goalie's already been bumped, nicked twice, or somebody intentionally stops and ices the goalie, i.e. they slam the brakes and just do the nature of ice blades in the ice, they get snowed on.
Yeah.
They'll take offense to that. May start a fight, may just get that guy crunched against the wall. How dare you do the thing while trying to not do the thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is where, like John just said, some guys are enforcers. Where maybe best example, Marty McSorley essentially played the majority of his career with Wayne Gretzky.
Mm-hmm.
Because the GMs knew that nobody would mess with Wayne if they had to face McSorley or Ty Domi, Probert,
Hatcher.
Who is it with the Maple Leafs? There's a guy with the Maple Leafs now that everybody talks about that is real confrontational.
There's not really any more goons in the NHL. That's my.
I've seen him.
There's one or two. There's usually like one a team, but it's not like it used to be. No.
Yeah, I did. I liked the goons. I liked the goon. Dallas had Darian, but he wasn't.
Has a nickname. They have a word for what happens to the guy that mess with him when they confront him.
Mm-hmm.
He plays for the Maple Leafs this year. I can't remember who he played for last year because I looked it up, but he's like 3 and done. He has a 2 jabs and an uppercut, and they're on the ice. everything I've looked up for him, it's almost identical. Oh, I should have.
I got the roster up if that'd help.
Yeah, John. I miss him. I mean,
I watched it, and
but yeah, I'm kind of a contrarian where I like goons, but I like smooth puck play. Go figure. I don't know.
You want to hit share screen there? I got their roster up.
Oh, okay. Daddy. Well, I can't even see that.
Well, let's go with a text list then.
I've got it right here. Let's see.
Probably a defenseman, probably on the other end of the weight scale. Morgan Riley. Nah, he's an assistant captain.
I do know this is his first year with the Maple Leafs. But I can't remember who he was with last year.
TJ Brody.
Brody?
Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg. I believe it. Mostly with Calgary.
Yeah, I know, John. They wanted that high score. They wanted the higher scores, and they kind of got it. You still get a lot of 1-1, 2-1.
Well, between that and quote unquote player safety, trying to make an effort to look like they care more about that.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I just remember looking at and seeing it, and this was like in the first week. I want to say it was a Maple Leafs first game. So, and I remember seeing that like there was a nickname for. They called it something when people. I even remember watching it because they shoved back and forth for a couple times, and the guy threw the stick down, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you want some?" and pulled his sleeves up, and it was like bam, bam, bam.
You're probably thinking of Wayne Simmons.
That's it.
Yep, not surprised.
That was it. It was like they shoved back and forth, like yeah. It was a schoolyard. It was like a schoolyard fight. Like they was there together, and finally, but then come to find out, he was that happens with him a lot. So,
well, and there's a thing to some of the players that choose to take that role are more of the actual punching, quick jabs, or just strong uppercut. But there's also some guys that are just heavy built and go for grappling, kind of like the MMA. But an interesting thing, it's unofficial, not through the league per se. Screen share there. Gonna tap me when you're done sipping your drink. Nearly all fights will get posted, so you can actually watch said fight with the actual a voting poll on who won or whether it was a draw, etc. And then because the statistics are one thing, you can actually see each and every fight the person's had.
Nice.
Who he's more common to fight.
That one that was yesterday, right?
Wayne Simmons' last few fights. All linked, how many he's had each year. Was busy in 2011, 2012.
Yeah, if there's a complaint about Dallas, they're in that area, it's soft. They don't like to respond. They don't like to.
Well, it's not like you got Landeskog on your team.
5 says I like the Happy Gilmore type player. I've always heard of how aggressive hockey is, and you know,
Tain't wrong.
football's gotten soft.
Yes, compared to the 80s and early 90s, yes, it has. They've
70s even.
Yeah,
When I played, football's gotten soft.
we used to break collarbones. So
What Allen yesterday in the game against Kansas City, crying about getting hit in the mouth when he got hit straight up from a guy that just was not blocked. He was blitzed and got hit straight up, face to face, and he's crying about getting punched in the mouth. Crybabies. But yeah.
And you really don't get the old school, every single player on the ice scrum, unless it's, you know, maybe one a year.
I haven't seen that
to the point where you get even the goalies fighting.
I haven't seen that in.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I haven't seen a goalie in it.
The what?
I haven't seen a goalie go it like with anybody. So
it's pretty rare.
They kind of protect
kind of hard with all the stuff they're wearing.
Well, I mean, there's been some huge major fights that the two goalies go at it. I mean, go to YouTube and type goalie fights. So some of them are pretty interesting.
Turn my mic off so y'all can't hear my COVID cough.
We still heard you.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, crap. Oh, well.
You got to push.
I did push the button. The light wasn't on.
Then we can't hear you.
Okay.
So look, I appreciate all the hockey talk. I've learned a lot.
Sure.
And I'm sure that there'll be some stuff that'll come up later, but you know, I can figure that out on my own, I'm sure.
Well, it's not like you can't reach out to him anyway. I mean, he's not a jerk or anything like that.
Yeah, it's not like I'm Ben or anything.
I know, but but I told you I don't do that though. I've had people tell me, "Hey, give me a call." I'm like, "Yeah, well, I just don't want to. I don't want to bother you, know."
You actually called me today. I was shocked. Instead of
when you posted what you said about having the junk, I'm like, well, I want to check on him. So I was driving, so I couldn't text.
Oh, okay.
I was being a responsible driver.
Since when?
Only because this is being recorded.
Oh, well, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yep.
We don't want to be too big at jerks while it's being posted to YouTube and postured for ever and ever and ever.
Until I delete it.
Even if you delete it, it's still out there.
Yeah, I'm sure it is because everybody's recording this.
That's true.
Obviously.
I'm sure there'll be at least one or two pictures posted about me again.
As they should.
I mean, see. Hold on. Top of the screen.
I could do that, but dude, it just.
There you go. Now you look. There you go.
See, now you just need to sit.
About boy pants on.
Because see, you're trying to show off your jerseys on the wall, and now you look
almost professional.
Wow.
Almost.
Just want to tap him on his head. He's finally got it all set up right.
I see how y'all are.
You tear off the last 3 hairs up there.
Hey, maybe if I do it a little bit more down, I could cut off the glare.
Yeah.
There you go. Is that better?
The advertising space.
See, I'm wearing London today.
My Flyers banner's looking pitiful.
You just put in a random amount of pages, or did you actually count out?
No, I throw a bunch of them in there. I ain't that organized.
Trading card DB.
ComC.
Oh, I've got some. I've just have put on my want list. I've kept it under my cuff for a while because
No, you didn't.
some people on Twitter follow me on trading card database, and the only thing I've purchased as far as flyers is on ComC, and that was the Farabee card. So
Yeah, it's not like I can look that up or anything.
I picked up 4 of them, and they're dropping, so I'm buying the crap out of them.
Let's see what purchases he made.
Delete all of them, please.
Well, Ashley was going to talk about ComC this week, but
Yeah, we were going to talk about ComC, but you decided to jump in.
I talked Brad out of it.
Oh, no, you're still doing it. You're still doing it.
I told you what I did. He's trying to figure out how I went from 25 to, I'll tell you, 175?
Yeah.
150?
What?
He's been flipping.
Mm.
A little bit, not much.
I haven't been able to master it yet still. I don't spend any time like concentrating on it. So I it's on me. It's not you, Step. It's me.
Oh no, I knew that much.
And no lie, when I bought the first Farabee card, I paid like $13.25 for it. The last one I bought was like $7.
That's not horrible.
So for some reason or other on ComC they're dropping, but on eBay they're going up.
Well, there is a difference between things that are posted on site with an account versus posted on eBay, unless you're talking about just a random eBay auction.
Yeah, just any
another story.
Any eBay auction.
I do think that our marketplace has a slightly undervalued hockey just because we're also tied in with the EPAC stuff. Mm-hmm. So we get a lot more base cards, a lot more inserts. Probably not the best to consign them if you're going to ship us a shipment, just because we have thousands of it, or will eventually by the time EPAC starts rolling out.
I've got one of the cars that I bought up to resale just because I got it cheaper. But I mean, the rest of them I plan on having shipped here, so I just haven't done it yet.
There it is. There's the first one. I knew eventually we'd get one.
Yep. Was waiting for it.
That's why I told you I did not want to talk about ComC on here tonight.
I don't want to. We're not talking about ComC. We're aggravating Steph. That's what we're doing.
Send an email.
He offered to come on, and I wasn't going to put him on the spot.
No, I don't mind. Go ahead.
Okay.
I mean, I'd need name. I would need order number to give you a specific answer. You shoot us an email, or even a DM with an order number. I can get you kind of an estimate on when it'll ship. Depending on how late it is, depending on how many items you have, I can actually kind of put it on our expedite sheet. But I mean, from there, it's a black hole. I'm not in Redmond. I can't personally tell you, hey, it'll ship tomorrow. I'm in Dallas. Everything's in Redmond, Auburn, that area. But I mean, if you have generic questions or, hey, when can I find, how can I find, where can I find, what's the reason for, stuff like that, for the most part, I can kind of answer your questions.
I got an interesting question. What is the weirdest card you've ever seen come through ComC?
Well, so we do have a kind of rejected category wherein...
of course, the adult cards. I mean, that's the good thing. But, I mean, other than that.
Well, so when the processing team sits down and starts to actually mark, hey, this is from 1981 Fleer, this is from 1991 Upper Deck, hey, this is from 2005 Upper Deck, this is from, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We actually have a rejected category wherein you can see everything that was rejected. For the most part, it's like advertising pieces that, the little dummy cards, but with advertising on it. But I mean, I've seen like, for example, the Team USA stuff, where it wasn't signed and wasn't supposed to be released by the athlete. I think Alex Bregman most recently, where someone has scribbled in pencil his name, really horrible, and wrote like 1/1. I'm like, that's not his signature. Sorry, guy. We've seen a rash of vintage just either being trimmed or not necessarily intentionally, but just someone buys it and didn't know.
Yeah.
Heard plenty of complaints as far as certain consigners because of their behavior and attitude and nature on the site. As far as why, it's just a matter of the way our infrastructure is set up. We're not just a mom and pop brick and mortar shop. We can't go to such and such binder, pull your 3 cards, and have them ready to go. There's a process. Unfortunately, with COVID, there's only a certain amount of people that are allowed in our warehouse at a time. So, it's easy to say, okay, this person wants 200 cards. 3 of them are on this shelf. 3 binders over, 3rd row from the top. Grab the 15th page, the card in the middle slot. Okay, now go to the next binder.
'Is that him or is that me?
3 rows over, et cetera, et cetera. It's all infrastructure issues.
Yeah.
We're working to resolve it. We're working to get more people in the warehouse.
Uh-oh. Did we lose him?
Yeah, I think we lost him. That's all right. I knew either he would or I would or you would at some point.
Man. That was Yep, it was him.
That's all right. It's no big deal. I mean, I didn't want to go deep into comedy talk anyway.
I'm looking to get that far into. Here we go. We got him back. Let's try him. Uh-oh.
No, we're not. It's a spinning wheel of death.
Testing.
There we go. Wait.
We hear you.
Okay.
Can you see us now?
Nope.
Nope.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
Okay. No, I'm not sure where I left off, but it's kind of like going to a restaurant or a fast food place and finding out they're down 1 cook. The waitresses are all on strike, and the manager didn't come in today. It's going to take you longer. Not to say that we're down grow cooks or that we have cooks, but it's the same theory. We're only allowed in a certain amount of staff. We're only allowed in a certain amount per square footage. It just adds up.
So basically, there's not enough cooks for the kitchen.
Not enough cooks for the kitchen to do it safely.
Yeah. So
it's unfortunate. We're looking to rebound. We've got some exciting news as far as stuff to announce, but
don't give it away.
We're trying to get better. And it's not like we're just intentionally leaving, hey, this guy's order, don't ship it. We want to get him out. But unfortunately, to do it safely, it takes longer.
You mean it's not sitting in Uncle Rich's closet?
No. Rich doesn't. Rich doesn't have everything. No, that's to be honest, that's it.
Yeah.
To do it safely. I mean, if you have an order for like 20 cards, and you go with the rushed option, it's going to ship within 2 weeks. But if you have anything of actual quantity, it's going to sit. There's no jumping with the lines. There's no order manipulation. You can, depending on where it is and when you place it, you can kind of increase your shipment option. But if it's of any high quality quantity, it's still going to be a little while. Just because someone has to go to 40 different rows to grab 40 different binders to grab 200 different cards.
Yeah. And remember, every single time you buy a card, they have to move that card. So, I mean, it's not just buying and selling. I mean, every time you buy a card, they put it in it. So give them just a little bit of grace. I mean, they've got really strict rules in Seattle. I mean, really, unfortunately, yeah. I mean, it's just time and people, and unfortunately,
that's it. I mean, it sounds like a lazy excuse. It sounds like it's convenient with COVID going on, but that's
I mean, that's it. It is what it is. I mean,
okay. Well, I do have one question about ComC.
Sure. I can try to answer it for you.
It's nothing to put you on the spot. I've noticed.
No, good.
Wondering when you go to your account and you pull up like a particular card that gives you these options. One of the options is to donate to charity.
Yes.
Where's that going?
So it's somewhere on the blog, I'd have to dig to find it. There are a listing of which actual charities that goes to. As far as the card itself, what happens is it'll get transferred to a charity account. It'll get listed, and once it sells, the money towards in that account will get donated.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, I wondered about that.
That's really cool.
So if you have some cards that you bought that were just extremely undervalued, or you just have something you don't want anymore, it'll get dumped into that account, and then, like I said, it on the site it looks like a regular account, but when you buy from it, the money, just like a cash out would if you and me were to do it, they take it out and send it to one of their listed charities.
But if you donate it for charity, where is it? Is it put on eBay and sold, or?
Like I said, I believe it shows on the regular site as just you, or anyone else's accounts. But also, so it looks like there's the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, the Alzheimer's Association, and there's a link to recent ones. But no, it's all of our stuff. It doesn't change price. It gets cross-listed to eBay. So it all gets posted on eBay and it stays on the website as well. Wherever it sells, whenever it sells, at a certain point, they'll eventually cash out and donate it.
Hey, just when it was getting good.
Looks like one of their employees was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. So nice.
Okay.
Nice way to honor him.
So let's see. Hold on, real quick.
Yeah, I'm donating to charity right now. A couple of cards.
This is what. Okay, I'm no professional. Hold on. I'm not Steph.
Tags on. Yeah, it's not as easy as it looks. 150 card order, 6 months. No, we're aiming at most for things to ship in under 4 months. Even the most delayed orders, we're trying to get out before 4 months.
All right, there. I donated.
Card enough goes to 3B for putting out roll type for me. The other hits from the hobby box pretty awesome. Pull 2 nice. Clear cuts, if I'm not mistaken, are hobby exclusive. No, that's the insert. I was thinking of the base parallel, but yeah, cool. Just to see those ones I need. Down to, let me see here.
I don't know if he picked out that Bruins card to send to me after they beat the Flyers last night 6-1 or what. I don't know what.
Look at this. He's already saying we.
Huh? I said after the Bruins beat the Flyers.
15 cards left for Series 1.
All right.
That's what you have left?
Forgot. And yes, I have for these ones already. So I don't have to spend $100 for that.
All right, well, we're gonna jump off.
Yeah, we're gonna jump off and let you get back to Ange.
Oh, probably.
Well, I appreciate you jumping in here and everybody watching.
Anytime.
And,
Or if you want to share Kim, let them know. Or not.
all right, everybody. We'll see you next week.